everything that Alex has been tracking, as well as how it could impact Texas and even more locally if we could see any more rain. So first off, let me go over just the basics. Today we heard that it was named Tropical Storm Alberto, the first named storm of the hurricane season, forming in the Gulf of Mexico. So far, Governor Greg Abbott, issued a disaster declaration for 51 counties. We've seen this in the past, him doing this to prepare for the situation, making sure that Texans are going to have enough resources and personnel if and when resources are needed. So right now I'm going to bring in Alex. Right now I know that you've been tracking the storm.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it right now, location-wise?
It's just off the coast of Mexico.
Okay.
45-mile-an-hour winds, that's about it.
And at this point, how quickly is it traveling?
It's moving roughly at about 25 to 15 miles an hour the last time I looked at it.
Okay. At what point do you think it might hit, the Gulf Coast of Texas, right there near Corpus?
The object is that the storm itself, I don't know if you can bring your camera on. Why don't you bring your camera on? This makes it a little bit easier.
There we go.
To kind of visualize what's happening.
Thank you.
There's the storm. We've got the latest update up here, just popped in. All right, southwest at 9, but that's the actual storm itself.
That's neat.
And so it's nowhere near the Texas coast.
Yeah.
Texas coast, there's Brownsville way back up here. So we're looking midway down the Mexican coast going west. And this distance here is less than a couple hundred miles out. So that means it's going to go in right here and it's gone. Because anybody who understands what Mexico is like, that's all mountain range.
Yeah.
So as soon as it hits the mountain range, see you goodbye. So within less than 24 hours, it's gone. The main impact is going to be right here, because that is where we're going to see the heaviest rain come down. With the mountain ranges sticking up like that, that means mudslides, flash floods, instantaneous flooding for the people here in Mexico. So that's going to be the big thing. Now, if we want to pull that back down.
And what are I know the other day I was asking you about the colors.
Yeah, this colors here, this is an enhanced satellite image. It's not rain. Most people look at it and they think it's red for rain and green, but no, I'm looking at actual temperatures within the clouds.
Wow.
And when I'm looking at the coldest cloud tops, I have it reversed so I can see it. Instead of being blue, it's red. So this tells me that's where the big bursts are of rain and tropical storm intensity. So these are the bursts that I'm looking at, and they're already on shore, already moving in. So that's the big thing. As we get back up here, let's see if we can pull this up. This is a different one here, again showing the burst of the storm, but this one's in animation form.
Oh, wow.
So you can see where the main portion of that storm is here. Rain's already moving on shore. So we're way up here. I mean, we're way underneath that little white banner up there.
Yeah.
So I can pull this back. So the main impacts that we're watching from this, since it's such a broad circulation, is that the actual flow has pulled up all this moisture up here from the Caribbean, pulled it through the Gulf of Mexico and up here. And that's what you're looking at right now. You're looking at rain. And let me see if I can get over here. This is the estimated other impact that we could have because of the wind flow coming through. The computer models are picking up that we could get a little breezy starting tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, could get, in the 40s. Now, I've already noticed this afternoon, we've had gusts around 25, 28, up to 32 miles an hour. So it's been a little breezy. It may get a little breezier as the system continues to push on in. And
I was going to ask you, I had seen something from the National Hurricane Center saying tornadoes are possible. Is it because of that wind?
2%. 2% possibility, and the area that it's going to be possible in is outside of Bexar County. It's all in this area right here.
Yeah.
So this is where we're probably looking, and those are little quick spin-ups. They're nothing like what you see in Kansas and Oklahoma. Very difficult to spot, very difficult to forecast for. It's like you got to keep watching the radar constantly to see where it's going to pop up. So the main part of whatever is going to impact the Texas coast is going to be there, and it's going to be south of us. If we look at rainfall, here's the rainfall forecast coming from the Hurricane Center. And notice we're sitting in the blues with a few little purples. So that's a 1/2 inch to an inch. And if we're lucky, we may see a little spot here and there where you get 2 inches of rain. Big rain's way down here.
We thought we were going to get a little bit more, right?
It was, earlier this week, I was looking at the computer models before I came back from vacation. It was on Sunday. And we had a 15-inch total right up over Bear County. On Monday, we had a 20-inch total. But I know that when you look at those computer models, they're very broad models, which means they're like trying to keep mosquitoes out. You want the screen to be very small.
Yeah.
But with those models, the screen is this big and a lot of mosquitoes get through. So there's a lot of error. So I figured we're going to have to wait till Tuesday, Wednesday to really get an idea. And as we saw, the trend started dropping down quite a bit. And so this is the observed rainfall. This is what we've seen so far for most of the area. And again, it's all down here. That's where the really, really good rain is, back down in this region here, down toward Corpus Christi. Not so much toward here in San Antonio.
Right. In Corpus, though, I know one big concern they're talking about is flash flood. With all of that heavy rain, flooding, and what could happen, at that point.
Yeah, it can get the pockets of little rain, could definitely put some flash flooding, but it'll be localized. Corpus Christi is a little different than San Antonio. San Antonio's on a hill, and we happen to be at the bottom of that hill. So all the rain that comes down up in the hill country or just north of us, it comes straight down because the ground is not like it is in Corpus where it's dirt.
Yeah.
We have karst, kind of rock. So when that rain hits, it hits the rock level and just flows on down.
Oh, really?
So
That's interesting.
There's no soaking in.
Yeah.
It comes straight at us. So when you get flash flooding down here, it's a little different. It's not as intense as it is for us. The water comes down, it sits on the ground, and it just comes up. So there's a lot of ponding, a tremendous amount of ponding going on out there. And when you look at all the roadways, there's not very many of them, but the ones that are there get in trouble right away. But this is the current radar as we see it right now. I'm going to put it into the stop mode so that we can get right down into Corpus. And there you can see Robstown, there's Orange Grove, and there's Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
And the rain that we're looking at, most of it's gone. You can see some up here, and you're sitting back over. These are the little pockets of the heavier rain. So that's where you probably see a couple of inches of rain maybe coming down an hour. Let's see if we can change that out.
I'll look at some of these comments.
Sure.
There you go, really quick. Thanks, guys, for tuning in right now. I'm going to see, let me check.
Yeah, this is...
Will this do anything for the rivers? Because...
No, not for us.
Yeah, not for us.
River, San Antonio River, Nueces River. Nueces maybe, San Antonio down toward the south. But it'll be the rivers that are down near Corpus Christi as opposed to here.
Okay.
This is a little different look to the radar where I've got an area where I can really go see where is the rain falling the most. And that looks like that's where it's falling the most. We've got pretty heavy concentration. So it's,
wow.
It's a little almost 2 inches of rain an hour coming down right there. So that's where the little pockets are. And so that's where you'd probably see that localized flash flooding. But if you live down here and between Sinton and Bonneview, there's not a whole lot there except grass and ducks.
Yeah.
They're having a good time right about now.
So I know looking right now, actually Louisiana, I think it's called Grand Isle, has been really hit with heavy rain, flooding already. I mean, streets completely flooded. And so somebody was asking, why aren't we seeing that? Why is Louisiana seeing that more so than us? When you look at the map, it kind of looks like we would get more, but I'm not sure if the direction is changing.
It's kind of odd. I haven't seen much rain down there. I'm looking at Louisiana right now.
Yeah.
So that would just have to be, and there's Grand Isle. And if I go back and we take a look at the, I don't know if I can get the full 24 hour there, but we'll check it out. Here's the observable. Let's go back 24 hours. There's been no rain there in 24 hours. Computer models and radar are showing me most of the rain's been over here. So I'm not sure why they're getting reports of flooding.
Or maybe they meant near Grand Isle and it's more that way.
And even that's pretty light rain.
Yeah.
That's less than an inch.
Wow.
So I'm not sure why a floods are there, we can turn on the advisories and see if there's anything actually out there. The only thing is offshore.
That's so neat.
And that would probably be a marine warning. Yep, gale warning. Small craft advisory. And we can even get really close. Let's get in there and see if there's something up near Grand Isle.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a little flash flood watch. But it must have been from rains a little while back. They got a coastal flood advisory. It's only an advisory.
Okay.
So that's a little different than the actual flash flood warning. So
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. Let's see what it says here. Minor coastal flooding because of the tides that are coming up. That would be the only thing. Now, I do know the tides did come up from Galveston. They were up.
Oh, really?
They were up 3 feet above normal because you have that water that circulates around.
Yeah.
And most people forget about that. They think,
Well, they keep people out of the area at that point,
Yeah,
right?
they
Off
do.
the water.
Hopefully they do.
Yeah.
But when you look at this thing, even the storms down here, the wind is all going this way.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like being in your bathtub and you start blowing it up against the water.
Mm-hmm.
And if you blow long enough, that water is going to build up on the other side. And that's what's happening here. You're getting 2 to 3 feet above normal on the tides. And that may be what they're looking at.
Yeah.
But there's been no real significant rain. It's just the tides that have come up because of the storm system blowing the water up.
So once it hits land,
Mhm.
what happens after that? Doesn't it slow a little bit?
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's different terrain
Okay.
because what's going to happen is there's a mountain range. It's going to come on land. Boom, see you goodbye.
Yeah.
And hurricanes are not solid objects.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a blob of gas, blob of water. So as soon as it hits an object, it's gone. It's out of here.
Yeah.
And so that's the terrain from here. Now, if it came into Corpus, yeah, it's going to slow down because there's no mountains there. There's
Yeah.
nothing. The highest thing is you got an anthill. So, it's just going to cruise on along.
Or a house on the
Yeah.
stilts.
It's going to go all the way back on up and
Yeah.
and slow down. Now, that's the typical pattern for us.
Mm-hmm.
But the pattern for Mexico is it's gone in less than
Yeah.
12 hours.
Now, I know in the past when we've seen some of these storms, certain areas near Corpus are hit pretty bad where homes are,
Mhm.
taken down.
Mhm.
Is that a potential here?
No.
Okay.
Nowhere even close. We'd need to get a little bit stronger storm. We need to get much stronger winds, much higher up on the category. And plus, we'd have to have either a direct hit somewhere in here or right in there. So in order
Yeah.
for us to really see some type of impact in Corpus Christi, you're going to need to get it really, really close. And even then, you got to remember everything happens on the northeast side and on the east side of that storm. It means it would have to come in here
Yeah.
in order to get impact here. And that's why when we look at San Antonio, and we're a good distance out, supposedly, from the Gulf Coast. People take a couple, 3 hours to drive down there, but they don't realize hurricanes don't take the highway.
Yeah.
So we get a big storm in here, particularly a Category 5 storm that comes in at Rockport or at Seadrift, we could easily see some major impacts here
Oh, really?
because that's
Yeah.
not that far.
Yeah.
When you really look at it, it's not that far.
Now, for people who thought maybe, because of the summer, they were going to go to Corpus to go to the
Yeah.
beach this weekend.
Well, this weekend they might be able to get away with it, but I'm
Okay.
thinking the riptide situation may still be there.
A little rough.
Yeah.
And what is it going to be over the next, later on tonight, maybe tomorrow, for San Antonio? I know it's
been
been drizzling, not too
drizzling
bad.
light rain for the coastal areas. They're going to get those pockets of heavier rain. Those
Yeah.
little tropical pockets are going to come through. They're going to drop down 1.5 inches, 2 inches of rain. That's going to happen all overnight. That's going to happen tomorrow, and eventually it'll move away to the west.
Okay.
And I'm thinking Friday morning, most of it should be out.
Somebody was asking, related to, they were asking, is it La Nina or El Nino?
It's neither. It's in between. It's La Nada, as they call it.
Really?
Yeah, it's neutral.
Okay.
It's in transition phase.
Let's see what else. Thank you guys for asking questions and weighing in and listening. Is something else brewing in the bay?
Yeah, there's a secondary system, but even if it does develop, it's too close to the coast and it looks like it's going to push west again. So no impact here.
Someone said, is it okay to drive? And I think here around here it is.
Well, yeah, but you know how it is. You get drizzle on the road and there's 5,000 accidents. So
Yeah, that's true. You just
the
never.
things you have to remember when it starts
Yeah.
raining. Give yourself extra time between you and that car in front of you because you're not going to be able to stop like you would when the streets are dry.
Mhm.
And every mile an hour you go faster than 55,
Yeah.
you increase the percentage that you're going to spin out in hydroplane.
Wow.
So stay under 55.
That is smart advice right there because we've already seen some
Yeah.
incidents.
Yes.
Let's see. Thanks again, guys, for running in. I know some people disappointed about not seeing as much rain here.
I know, but you know, any raindrop is better than no raindrop.
Yeah. How much do you think we would need to kind of
break the
recover a
drought?
little bit? Yeah.
We're going to need a good 10 to 20 inch rainfall.
Wow.
We need a lot of rain. And
Is
the
that
thing-
what's expected in Corpus?
No, not quite that much.
Okay.
They're not going to get that much, but we would need a really serious tropical system to come
Yeah.
through. Now we put a dent in the rain in the drought, but the problem is that dent's not deep enough.
Yeah.
And as soon as we start going back up to the 90s, which will be tomorrow and the next day, we're going to start seeing the water evaporate right up out of the ground
Yeah.
again. And so by mid-July, we're going to be right back where we were.
Wow.
It won't take very long.
Well, anything else, or what can people expect tonight at 9 o'clock? What are you going to be
9
doing up
o'clock, we're
until
gonna be-
now and
yeah,
then?
We're
Yeah.
going to be talking about where the system is.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about how much rain fell and who saw it today. We're going to break down on the radar exactly where the rain fell in Bexar County. Don't be disappointed. It's going to probably be all less than an inch. Then we'll go down south and we'll show you where the rain fell there. Then we'll talk about the weekend and, of course, that exclusive 21-day trend.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
I don't know how you remember all of this. It's pretty impressive. I wish I knew half of what you knew. But thank you for sharing all of your knowledge with us. That's
Sure.
really helpful.
Okay.
All right, guys. So just to kind of wrap things up, like I was saying in the beginning, Governor Greg Abbott, he had issued a disaster declaration. Sometimes we see this happening ahead of time to make sure that all counties that are likely to see severe weather, that they're prepared to get the resources and the personnel that's needed. And so we'll have much more tonight at 9. Let me just check really quick if you guys have any more questions before I go. But thanks for tuning in. I think somebody is saying work was canceled because they thought rain was coming and there's no rain. Someone's saying, will there be rain tomorrow?
Yeah, there will be.
There will be off and on. And somebody also said 90 is better than being over 100.
This is true.
Yeah,
That's
very
true.
true. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you tonight at 9. Bye.